of use out of the cat. I mean, mine's just sitting there in the chair over there. It could be giving me some free light and such. No, I mean, whatever. I don't like all this genetic crap, but whatever. You're not going to stop it. I mean, it's progress, so to speak. I mean, you have to do that silly stuff before you can do the real deal stuff. Yeah, it is amazing, though. People have all this money, you know, they spend 50 grand to, you know, clone their dog. Like they think their dog is going to come out exactly the same again. Yeah, he'll be the same dog, and he'll have the same exact habits, and he'll lick my face exactly the same way. And I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. It's like people having kids. They think, oh yeah, my kid will be like me. No, the odds are your kid will be exactly the opposite.
Just go out and get a dog at the pound that kind of looks like your old dog.
Yeah,
You'll
or
have an
make him a
equal
little,
amount of
make him
chance
a
of
little
that
paper
dog
mask
being the
or
same
something.
dog. Same dog.
Yeah, just make a little paper mask or something. But whatever, yeah, just or yeah, love another animal. Find another animal that needs to be loved and move on. That's right. You know, I mean, well, whatever. People are just fucked up. Yeah, well, and they don't understand that there's no real, you know, all this progress doesn't have any direction anymore. I mean, the old days, progress was obvious. I mean, goddamn, people have polio. Goddamn, people getting run over. Goddamn, people getting poisoned. So we had obvious things to fix. And now it's not so obvious anymore. And so now you have this technology, and you're like, well, we have this laser beam, and we can, well, we could zap the hair out of you. Yeah, maybe we'll use it for that. You know, they just don't know what to do with this. Oh, we can remove a tattoo. You know, they just don't know what to do with the technology anymore, but you can't just zap like polio with it anymore. There's not like some great thing to do with technology anymore because we don't have a direction. So unless we decide to do the Matrix thing or the whatever cybergenetic thing, you know, we have to make a decision about where we're going with this human consciousness thing because none of this technology has a direction. I don't know how long China will be able to keep a stiff boner, but, you know, whatever. China's nothing, okay? China's got 1 billion people and their economy is the same size as ours. So that they're, in real sense, they're 25% poorer than we are. Um, yeah, but they're taking over the world. That's right, 1 billion people. It's a lot of fucking goddamn people. And they're doing a lot of work because we aren't doing any of the work because we won't work for a hamburger a day. And so that's the sad truth is why do you, we don't even, you know, the China syndrome, okay, that they don't really have that, they don't bring that word back, the China syndrome. The syndrome is that we're going to have to start working again where we don't have any insurance, we don't have workman's comp, and we don't have any of this shit, and we're like Chinamen, and we're completely disposable. So if like we cut our hand off at work, they say, well, too fucking bad because you can't do the job anymore, so fuck you, we're hiring a new guy for the same price. I mean, that's the China syndrome, and that's what we have to compete with to survive in the future. So you tell me how it's going to work, because the only human beings that are going to survive are ones that are desperate to survive. And I'm certainly not desperate. So, I mean, unless we raise people to be really desperate to survive, um, it's going to get ugly. Uglier. Yeah, well, that's the other factor here is, you know, Americans are all armed and loaded, and or whatever that is, locked and loaded. So, yeah, I just don't see them being very cooperative. You know, when the system starts telling them what they're going to have to do, and they're going to say, "Fuck you," it's going to get messy. Well, look, it's all it's about who, it's about the ownership, and that's until we fix that problem, we're fucked. So I mean, you can't have an economy here until you change the ownership. We have to work for each other, and we're not doing that. We're working for the man. We're working for the rich, and as long as that's the scenario, you can't play. There's no the rich aren't going to provide you a job unless it's in their terms. Yeah, the numbers are horrible, but that's why, but that's not going to, that's what has to change is, like I said, and how they get wiped out is going to be the trick, because the super rich are usually the ones that are going to engineer the crash, and so they're going to stay rich, but they're going to wipe out a lot of the, I think I'm richers. Just the fact is that like 50% of these ownership tickets are going to have to be destroyed, and so somebody's going to have to get fucking burnt.
Do you think there's any chance that the crazy Tea Party nutballers are ever going to just pick up guns? I mean, I was watching some Glenn Beck the other day, and he's getting like he's borderline Nazi right now. I mean, he's not going against the Jews, but his whole rhetoric is quite Nazi-ish. And do you think these guys are ever going to just pick up guns and start shooting, and then normal people are going to have to pick up guns to defend themselves?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, eventually, I think it's going to come down to it. This is going to be a factor, but it's hard to figure out exactly how. Let's say the government goes pretty much bankrupt. So what do you got? You got the military. You got what, 1 million soldiers. You got to pay their salary. You got all these hospitals. You got to keep them running. You got all these social security checks. You got to keep paying that. So who gets fucked in that scenario? And then who in that scenario is going to say fuck you to the government when they start doing that? So yeah, I mean, how is it going to reveal itself? Is there going to there's going to be this anger at the government? What do you mean you're taxing me, but you're not giving me any Social Security, and you're not doing this, and you're not doing, so. But I don't know if it's going to be organized. Like I don't know if like a bunch of people are going to take guns and do something like attack. What do you attack? I mean, I can definitely see some Timothy McVeigh stuff going on, but I don't know if it's going to be like, a bunch of teabaggers got together and, took over the local post office. I just think people are going to start going wacky. They're going to start getting pissed off. They're going to be unemployed and drunk with a gun, and they're just going to start shooting shit. They're going to be pissed off at the world, and they're going to be pissed off at how everything's fucked up, and they're just going to go out and start randomly shooting people because they're pissed off. I mean, the Democrats will blame the Republicans, and the Republicans will blame Democrats. The Republicans have more guns, so you just figure, like, I don't know, Republicans will start showing up at, like, tree hugging festivals and start shooting them up or something. You fuckers elected that irresponsible nigger into the White House. That's what ruined our country. It'll be that kind of thing. So whether it be racial or whether it's going to be, rich, poor, they're just going to blame anybody who's for the politics that they blame for the disaster. I mean, you can already see that coming. Like, if the system crashes, somehow it'll be Obama's fault. Yeah, I just don't think we can get all the way to 2012 before this thing starts turning to shit. But I guess it doesn't matter. So all you need to do is get to 2011, really, realistically, if you can get through most of that. Because the last year doesn't mean much in the presidency. I mean, it's just an election season then. Well, I mean, look, the government's going to print $1 trillion of cash this year. And then 4 years ago, there was $3 trillion in cash in the world. Now there's $5 trillion. Next year, there's going to be $6 trillion. So there's twice as much cash out there. So the value of your salary, everything, has gone down by 50% in real terms. You just don't know it yet. And that's a huge hit. And then all this debt, like I said, the government has just holding so much bad paper, and all of that, once it starts to crumble, I mean, once real people start trying to get to find a real asset, I just don't see how it can't, and like I said, all the market has to do is drop another 30 or 40%, and it's going to go down the rest of the other 40%. I mean, and in 29 it did the same thing. The market did a big dip, and then it came back, and then it did the real crash. So I think we're set up for the same kind of scenario.
You know what? You make me feel good about owning guns.
Yeah, I just don't see any point in anybody trying to fight their way through it. I mean, the solution's going to have to come some other way. I mean, you can survive, but that doesn't
Well, that's
mean
what I'm
much.
planning on doing. Just boarding up this house and anything that tries to get in, shoot it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the real game is going to be people who aren't playing that game. They're going to be playing some game trying to recover the system, because without the system, you have no future. The zombies will get you eventually. Ah, corn chips. Yeah, I like corn chips. Anyway, boy, it's kind of a dead evening. Well, it's not that many people in here either. Yeah, maybe I should
Oh
quit
my
doing
god, it's
Stickam.
Chris. If she was coming, she said she was. So I guess she's
Oh,
alive.
you're talking to...
Sure.
Yeah, well, she shows up late anyway. But it is late for me. I'm so tired. Really am running on empty. But whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of missing names here. Where are my peoples? God damn you. Supposed to be devoted and such. Maybe they're on Blog TV. See how many people is over there. Ooh, 18. Ew, God, that image is horrible. Oh man, Blog TV makes me look even more horrible than I already look. Thank you very much. What is it?